Very good day to everyone. So as the previous speaker was saying, some of the difficulty with this online teaching is that we don't actually get to see the students face to face. As I was telling my students in my classrooms, I did not become a lecturer or a teacher to be seeing boxes of names and talking to boxes of names. So I like to see faces, I like to interact, and one of the feedbacks that we get when we teach is actually being able to see the students. They say, oh, now I understand. Or they look very confused and they don't understand. Those are cues that allow us to actually know whether to go faster or slower or to repeat what we just said. So I'm listing all those cues. So if there are any questions, do just post them up, and then later on we will cover any questions that you may have. So I'm going to talk about the post-pandemic digital future. My background is on computing, and as all of us, we've been observing the things that's happening around us. And I just want to share with you one slide. So, oops, go on. So if you look at this slide, so if you look at this one, you see that on the left you have the Zoom stock market. And you see that it was a low, then it went high around February, March time. And you see on the right, you have the oil, okay, Brent crude oil prices. I just took that yesterday. So you can see a huge crash. So it is quite interesting to see that, again, you consider these two thoughts. One is modern technology in a sense, where you have video conferencing tools. Again, this is just an example. I'm not promoting Zoom. And on the other side, you have oil, which is, again, a staple part of everyday life that we definitely need. And the question I have is not so much, the oil will go up, all right? So it will not stay at zero negative for forever. It's definitely going up. The question I have is, what is the future? Because if you know what's the future after post-pandemic, what's going to be happening, then you can make plans for it, isn't it? I mean, as a students or as parents, if you know that, let's say 3 years or 5 years, what will oil prices or high-tech industries or whatever industry that you're going into, if you have an idea of where is it going to be, then you have you may be able to take advantage of it now. All right. So when we talk about the future post-pandemic, there are so many things we can talk about, all right? But let's talk about one thing, which is communication, because that's what we're doing here. Last time, in order to do this video conferencing, you would need a lot of tools. You need a video camera, you need a broadcasting system, you need all sorts of stuff, all very expensive. A lot of technicians, everybody around. But now, I'm doing this thing with you guys, and then it's all from the comfort of home. So it's quite amazing. And if you really think about it, right, in the previous generation, if we talk about it, you have the message. When people, last time I talk about a message, they might be asking, do you mean a telegraph? Okay, so some people don't know what's a telegraph already. And then mail, we still do get mail. And also phone calls, on the phone. So those are ways that we communicate, and those things have actually changed a bit. So you have the message. Now, obviously, it means WhatsApp, and you have email, and you have things that they call video call. So this is just the communication medium, you see. And the communication medium changes, and what happens is that, let's talk about security. Now, in the olden days, if you talk about mail, okay, if you want to secure your mail, the king, if he wants to send a confidential, secret, confidential mail to somebody else, he would actually seal it. So you press upon the seal, and then when you receive it, you would break the wax. Okay, you break the wax, and then if the wax is broken, you know that nobody has read that mail before. Then you have people who would try to counterfeit. So they will try to fake the seal. So they'll fake the seal, and then so you need to figure out, okay, how do you authenticate whether this is actually from the king or from a villain? All right, so you have those type of cases. And so those are security issues even from the olden days. And call is funny, but last time there used to be hackers where they'll call. How they will hack is basically just trying to bluff or hack the public phone so they can actually call internationally. So they'll press a series of numbers, and then they just cheat the system so that they can call, make international calls for free. So again, it's security systems in even those old mediums, those traditional mediums, are still an issue. So that thing also happens for modern systems. The email, again, most of us are comfortable with email. We don't click on links that we don't know who it belongs to. A lot of times you have those funny links that funny emails that come from people asking for money or asking for your username and password for your bank accounts. So again, those are security things, and there was a period of time where people were not familiar. So, but then at the end, you have a user education. People start getting familiar with all these things, and then now it seems people are comfortable. Now you're going into, again, a newish. I wouldn't say it's new. Video conferencing is not something new. It's newish for the general population. Previously, most people would not do business. Again, general population are, or at least even online learning. So online learning, again, was there, but now it's taken on a more, again, because of COVID-19, so it's taken on a more massive appeal. And I would predict this, okay? I'm not a prophet, but if I was to predict something, I would say that after COVID-19, you see a lot of people are comfortable doing video calls, and they would be comfortable even just presenting from, again, from Sarawak to West Malaysia without flying over. Okay, so there will be people who will be very comfortable doing this more so than before. I, for one, will be comfortable just talking to my students for consultation, just to do a video call, and then we can share screen, which is what we've been doing so far. So they'll show me the code, and I'll assess them, and then I'll ask questions, and then I'll just work on it with them. So this is going to be a new normal. All right, this is going to be a new normal for many of us. We may not use it 100% pure like now, but we will definitely embed it into our everyday life. And so when you come into security, it is an industry. So you have developers, again, all those applications, all those tools that you have. You have businesses, you have people who are detectives or specialists finding out all these things. You have people who enforce it. And you also have people like me, teachers, lecturers who are in academics doing research or finding out more about security for this type of communication medium. And that comes into the idea of cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a very wide area. So sometimes people don't realize that it's not just what you see on TV where people are hacking a server and things like that. It's also things that can be quite boring, like your passwords. How do you create a password that is secure? You have authentication. How do I know that the email is coming from you? You have privacy issues. How do I know that anybody is listening into our conversation? You have all sorts of things in cybersecurity. You have software, for example, how it's not just internet or communication. You also have how do you make sure that the software, the malware, the virus, all these things is so it's a very, very wide topic. So and within this topic, you also have specialists within cybersecurity. All right. So and after this COVID-19, you're going to see a boom. In fact, it was booming beforehand, and it's going to boom now as people realize that as the transition. I mean, you've got people selling fish. I mean, fishermen and fish retailers are selling fish through online. Your supermarkets are offering delivery. So at this, so as this transitions, all these traditional mom and pop stores, small, medium enterprises, and to transition into a new way of doing business, and cybersecurity is going to be more and more of an issue. And again, you will have people who will be able to assist in this. Like for example, COVID-19. Aren't you so happy that we actually have frontliners, or you have doctors who can give advice, nurses who can give you support? So in the same way, when Malaysia has sufficient cybersecurity specialists, so if there are any issues or any concerns about even just everyday things, our banking or our shops, our stores, and so on, then you again have this layer of specialists, cyber specialists and security people who are able to assist and bring up the nation. So cybersecurity is actually one of those key factors, key pillars in even the national economy, and for Sarawak, the state economy. Cybersecurity is actually now a state economy blueprint as well. So that's just cybersecurity. Now, with all the excitement about cybersecurity, there are other people who are actually very, very much part of it. Cybersecurity is very sexy, the name. But in terms of, it's a very specialized course. You see, Software engineering, I mean, these are two subjects that we offer, but again, it's a general, this is a general seminar. So I explained to you, and it's true for all courses around. Software engineering looks into building complex, sophisticated applications. So you don't really need a software engineer if you're only a one-man show, for example, just to exaggerate the point. But then if you have, again, 100 people scattered through 3 continents, Europe, US, Asia, and you have to do development, you need a way of developing software. So that's where software engineering comes in, giving you the tools, giving you the understanding, the concepts to deliver software on budget, on time, on high quality, with the resources that you have. So that's software engineering. So we can see this in all the applications that we have. Like I said, small, medium enterprises, you need more development tools. I mean, just look at your app store. Your app store is developed by all sorts of little companies, small, medium enterprises. They can build their own apps. And that is what, again, any graduate or anybody who is in software engineering should be able to do easily for you. For example, we have a unit called mobile application development. And from there, we learn how to do all this. Again, any of our graduates should be able to produce an app for you. Okay, so that's just an example. And this would be what we consider as basic skills. Okay, so it's not high tech. It is basic skills that every graduate should be able to have. And that's, again, very interesting, very exciting for a lot of people. Let's look at a case study. Have you received this? Because I think every Malaysian maybe have received this. So I received this, again, from people, from my church groups, from my colleagues, and from all family and friends. And they say that, dear all, if you install Zoom in your mobile phone, and if you have CIMB and Maybank app, please delete the Zoom. Sis, who works in Bank Negara, received an email from the bank telling him that the IT department found out that Zoom has been used to hack into Maybank to you and CIMB clicks. Lots of complaints lately on people's account getting hacked into. So let's use this one as a case. Again, we are saying that communication evolves. Yeah. We are saying that bad people, I'll just make it easier. Bad people have been there from the beginning until today, and they continue to be. And sometimes these bad people, they like to create panic. All right, that's where fake news comes in. Fake news is like when we were young, for the older guys, you have chain letters. So the whole point of it is just to make people scared, panic, and see a response. So that is what these mischievous people do. So when we consider the panic that is caused by this chat message, again, consider it. Why did the panic occur? Well, for many of us, it's because we are not familiar with what technology can or cannot do. So as you read it, you think that, yeah, maybe it's possible that the Zoom can be used to hack into Maybank to you and CIMB clicks. And now I just want to say, for now, because you made me misunderstand me, I'm not supporting Zoom. I have no stock in Zoom. It's just that it's something that a lot of people are familiar with. All right, so so what happens is Zoom does have problems. Can I say that? Zoom does have problems, does have security flaws. Their CEO has admitted as such. But there's a difference between the security flaws that the CEO mentioned and has been legitimately verified and found out by security specialists, and the one that is listed over here. Okay, so it's a huge difference. It's the difference between saying that your car, the what do you call that thing? The system is ABS is broken, and the difference is saying that, and you need to go bring your car to the shop to replace the ABS or the airbag, okay? And saying that your car, if you start the engine, it will explode, all right? So there is too huge, the risk assessment is very different. So for this one, right, think about it, all right? If this was true, then that means that you don't have to do anything from what the message seems to indicate. You just install Zoom and then it can go into your Maybank account, let's say. How does that work? That means that hackers have managed to use an app to access another app. Now, if that was true, why did they have to wait until Zoom? Why don't they use Instagram? You can then argue Instagram got better security. They hire proper cyber specialists, cyber security specialists. That's why Instagram cannot. Okay, maybe that's true. How about just making a game? Think about it, lah. If you can just create a game where people just download and you can spend 1 million, 2 million to create a game, and then you can use that game to embed certain things, and then use that game to, again, hack into CIMB, Maybank to you. You can get millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of ringgit. So why not just create, the hackers just create their own game? And the reason why they cannot is because the operating system itself does not allow one app to actually access another app. That is actually what the operating system does. So if you study operating system, or if you, again, this is operating system is a common unit for software engineering, computer science, and cyber security, you realize again that you try to make sure that apps do not touch apps, that everything is in their own place, all right? So that's what operating system designers try to do. Now, you could say that maybe the operating system designers, there was a flaw. So there's a loophole. And it is possible. I'm not saying that these things are not possible. I'm saying that if there is a flaw, it is not Zoom. It is an operating system problem. It means that your Android and your iOS has a serious vulnerability issue that allows one app developer to actually manipulate and access another app. And consider this, again, consider this. Okay, that's one point. The other point is that for Maybank and CIMB, right, security is probably the number one thing, because money, right? If any company, especially a bank, you found out that the people can actually go into it and just take money out of your account, the next day everybody will be drawing money out of it. So cybersecurity is and software engineering, it's a must-have. I mean, again, developing apps that are secure is one of the priorities. So think about it. Just for you to go into a bank, you have to put in your username, you have to put in your password. That is going to show up with the picture. This I'm talking about Maybank. So you have a picture, and then you have your passphrase to confirm that you are actually a Maybank. And then they do all sorts of loops. You have your tag number, then you have your secure to you, all this stuff. Security measures, just to move money. And Zoom can now shortcut all of that. If it happened, then the hackers are really good. So that's why when we consider these things, again, if you're in a computer science or technology field, then you think about it. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm not saying it's not possible. But what I'm saying that if it is possible, it is far more catastrophic than one app. It is talking about huge vulnerabilities at our banker, and also at our OS. So it's two huge catastrophes. Disasters. It's not just Zoom. Okay, so that's one consideration. And so if you can think about this, again, you have people, a society again, thankfully we have a country where we actually have specialists and who can give proper advice, and then the banks can lean on them. Otherwise, we will all be panicking. Okay, so again, that is where the country, society needs this type of expertise in the field. Okay, so that is just one case study. I thought that was an interesting one. And these are things that we also consider when we're in classes, real-world events. I'm telling you, we have lots of case studies coming out of these past few weeks. So we have looked into communication medium, and let us look into another thing I want to explore, which is you have this transition from the traditional media into the new media, but there is a digital divide. This is a sad but true. We have many students who are, again, not in university, because university, for our side, many students they have their own laptop and they are able to connect online. But again, many students, we will also understand, appreciate, are actually left behind. So they're behind in terms of email or video call. The infrastructure is not there to support them, the know-how, the technology. So there's a lot of issues over there. So what happens is, you can look at it one way, which is a negative side. And the other way is that you can also see it as an opportunity. So we are not saturated yet. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for delivery of these services, delivery of these products. We will need more of these technologies localized for our Malaysian context. Again, because we have a gap. So every time you have a gap, you will see that the market tries to meet that gap. And we even see this in this digital marketing as well, what we're doing today. So there's a gap, and people rush in to fill the gap. So when it comes to digital divide, we are not saturated. We are not fully 100% a digital economy. So there will be a need for it for some time. And that is where, again, after this COVID-19, you will see more demand for this type of products and this type of services. And the government, and I believe many industries, will speed up on the transition, or at least investment into the infrastructure and so on. So it is a good thing to have. And that would just speed up what was a trend in the first place. Netflix was pushing a trend, so that's another topic. But Netflix and entertainment was a very significant pusher for a bigger bandwidth, for all this unify and so on. So that is one area. But in terms of industry, education, it will be another push, which we will see after this pandemic has passed. Okay, it will not subside. And so that's an opportunity. Now, the last thing I want to say is talking about, we have considered it as the communication medium. But you see, communication medium, it is just a medium. The question is, what are you communicating? Because if you're communicating junk, that doesn't really build society. Or if you're communicating fake news, you're creating a lot of panic, lost productivity. It doesn't help society. So communication medium is by itself, technology is a neutral thing. It can be used for good, can be used for bad. So when you go to university, this is what I tell students, and I also tell parents and tell a lot of people. You really want to produce graduates who can communicate, and can communicate well, but they have substance. All right. So when they talk, right, they can actually they are independent thinkers. They are forward-looking, critical thinking, creative thinking, contributing to society. So you want that sort of graduates. You don't just want somebody who is just a code monkey. So you ask him to do this, he do that, he asks him to do this. You want somebody who can be innovative and so on. And that is hard, okay? Because the universities invest a lot of, again, from the teacher's point of view, we try to identify students and engage with them, exchange of thoughts, exchange of ideas. And this is where I enjoy my classes, okay? I enjoy talking to the students. And a lot of people think that the future of the world is maybe by algorithms. Okay, I'm a computer guy. So better algorithms, better decision-making, being able to think about fake news, and you're hoping that Facebook can filter, YouTube and Facebook can filter out what is fake news and what is not. And right now, I can tell you, don't put too much hope there. Like the way I described the Zoom part, you need a human being to do all those things. Even as we exalt or think about AI, actually we don't need artificial intelligence. We actually need more natural intelligence, human intelligence. We are sometimes very lacking in that. Who's able to look at the data, think about things, and then be able to, again, in our own mind, be able to process and then make decisions and be able to produce services, products, visions for society. These are things that algorithms cannot do. All right. So we want graduates who can do that. And that's why I think that every graduate should be. It doesn't matter what course you take. It can be accounting, can be nursing, can be whatever course that you take. But not only are you able to communicate through email and so on, but there should be substance, so that when we listen, we know that you talk sense and you are clear, and you can lead, you can contribute. And then an example of this is I was so happy. I got one message I got was the delete your Zoom thing because it's gonna Maybank is hacked and so on. So that was one message I got. But this is another message I got from my sister. So she sent me this, and she said that wow, all these people are doing a 3D printing, and then they are doing things for the frontliners. I think you guys know all these things. And my sister was asking, are those Curtin students? And I said yes. So there's a feeling of being proud of them. I mean, these are not all Curtin students. There are a bunch of people, again, close friends of Curtin. We have an NGO, social enterprise, and all these people working together. And that, I think, is the what we want to produce. A collaboration within society of technology, of social issues, of community outreach. So we are actually building a society, you see. And that is what we want. We want to produce graduates who are not just thinking about making money. Money is very important. I definitely agree. But we want to be able to do this type of thing so that as lecturers, I can tell you, I feel proud. I feel proud of my colleagues. There's one of my colleagues over there, Dr. Garrett, and he has his students. And then they're working to, again, help society, not make panic. So technology is neutral. There's going to be positive actors, there's going to be negative actors, white hats and black hat hackers if you're interested. And the university side is where we try to develop people who can do the things I said from a skill perspective, but also to bring like-minded people, the lecturers, parents, businesses, NGOs, governments, and so on, to make tomorrow a better place. Okay. So that is what we have. And so for the post-pandemic digital future, there are going to be many changes, all right? Some good, some bad. Technology will be pushed to the forefront. But I just want to caution everybody that technology will not be the answer. A lot of times, technology is neutral. So you need people. And as we train them in the skill set, we also train them in the heart. All right. So that is I wish everybody safe and everybody will be contributing to society in your own ways. And thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Terence, for the sharing. Interesting that you're taking all this life story, current story. I believe that your classes must be very interesting. You even brought up about the Zoom that people are worrying about, all this SMS, you apply it here. Okay. That's all about education rather than actually reading from the books, all those kind of things. Am I right, Terence?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, that should be the way of education, is thinking of the current situations that whereby we are sharing with the students of what is happening around us. And the last message, I hope that the students really hear that actually you are a technological person. You did your master in IT. Am I right? In engineering. Yes. Yet you are right. That technology is something that helping us, but then the heart, the people, I think personality, all these things, the society is like what the students are doing. Is awesome. That's what is needed, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. I don't see any question. I'm not sure. Are there any questions that you want to ask the audience? The speaker. You can ask here, then I can address it. But so far, there's no specific questions coming along to you, Terence. But since I understand you're coming on board tomorrow. Then perhaps since there's no questions, that allow me to ask a question specifically about Curtin, if you don't mind. I know you're lecturers, isn't it? You're teaching. Yeah. You're teaching as well, and then you'll be teaching in Curtin. Yeah, and I don't think many people know that something interesting that I found out from my colleague from Curtin, because our friends in Curtin, that told me that the classes in Curtin Miri actually run parallel with the one in Australia.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how do you do? And you've been doing for years. When we talk about online e-learning, this has been happening for years. That whereby a student can sit in the classes in Miri and then attending classes from Australia that you actually go live on there. I would like to share with us about all these things. Yeah, perhaps for some students to know. Yeah.
For Curtin, and to be fair as well to many branch campuses, this is true, which is a lot of the resources, a lot of videos are coming in from our mother campus. Okay, so for Curtin, we get a lot of resources from Perth. And what is wonderful is, again, students get to benefit from lectures from Perth, and this is happening even before COVID-19. So they've been doing this for, well, since I came on board actually. For 15 years already. So when the COVID-19 happened, the transition was not that painful for us, to be honest. I mean, again, some students struggle because it's a pure move rather than a hybrid move. So that was the pain. But then if you say that, okay, go online, go to Blackboard, watch iLectures, download the materials, submit the materials online, ask questions in Moodle or in Blackboard. I mean, all these things students actually know already. So that is how we train the students. And so for us, it's undifferentiated, and sometimes it also goes the other way. So our colleagues over here can also present things. So we have, for example, for final year projects, we had students who are presenting to our colleagues over there in Perth. So the Perth guys would actually listen, and they'll give feedback and comments. And it's actually very nice. So this sort of what we're doing, this video conferencing, we have a special rooms in Curtin University, which again, many people were impressed by. So the camera can track you, and then you have multiple screens, and then there is again a special console where so you directly go into the class. So for example, our students can participate fully in their classes, and as if they are actually inside that lecturer's class. So it's a very it's a new world, and so Curtin is very nice. We're in the same time zone, so it's
true, correct. Yeah, that's something that is so much easier to do it. Correct, same time zone in Perth.
I mean, so when I call them or I email them, I know that we don't have to fuss about different time zones. Then you have to plus minus 8. So it's a pleasure, and I think from academic point of view, it's nice to be able to talk to colleagues over there. We do research with them over there, for example. So it's a very nice multinational environment, and it helps prepare the students.
Okay, interesting. So that means that some classes are going on in Australia. You can enter a room in Curtin Miri, that whereby you're attending the same class that actually their student attending at Australia. Am I right? That's what they're trying to say.
Not all. So it's not all.
Oh yeah, it's not all. I know. Of course, some classes. Of course, you cannot be live stream. Then your job is redundant.
Correct.
I'm saying that
another worry. Some of the classes we do that, and sometimes it's mostly for guest lectures and so on. But yes, we do that, and it's very nice.
Okay, all right. So, what are your classes going on when the MCO was declared in Curtin? Is it term break now? Can I know that last month, is it a term break in your university?
This week and last week was term break. So this week and last week was term break. Before that, we had classes, and next week we have classes ongoing.
Oh, so students will come back online virtual classes next week already.
Yeah. But I mean, this morning I was having classes with students. So during the tuition, we call it tuition-free week, term break. So students want to have feedback for their work. So you had a class with them, went through the work with them. They had questions. So on the same thing like what we're doing now. So they just post out the questions. So it's very nice, very convenient. I think everybody is adjusting. Of course, you prefer the one-on-one personal face-to-face touch. But it's not. I tell you, if this happened 10, 20 years ago, I don't know what are you going to do.
Exactly. That's why you get the great point, Terence. When our time, what are you going to do? Stay at home.
Seriously, stay at home. And students cannot learn. I mean, what are you going to do? Call your lecturer one by one? I mean, you cannot do anything. So it's really nice. I mean, what we're having now, and again, it's not to have this facility we're talking about. Last time cost tens and thousands of dollars.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you have a special conference room, right? A special video conferencing room, and then you have I had to invest so much. I had to pay monthly again. Now it's like just switch on the computer. Anytime, whatever time, you can actually talk to your lecturers now, isn't it? Like what we're going through now. Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, you are right. Exactly. Yeah, but I think we also must, as you say, that sometimes the other maybe just discuss ourselves. That sometimes if too much of things, all those things are some people that actually find
find it. Some people who are in work, even they work from home, they find it quite stressful. Terence, I spoke to some of my friends.
Yes.
I think this is an issue that I think that whereby they have too many meetings to attend. And then to meet. This is also another social issue.
Yes, there are serious social issues there. I also noticed that the divorces have rise up because of this thing. So it's very sad, lah. And also you have all those other social issues, domestic violence, children, and so at risk and so on. So I mean, these are again. That's why I ended my talk. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about developing a wholesome human beings, not just people who are stuck in their heads. But again, answering your question, yes, this is all not happy. You're definitely right. I mean, there are pressures. I mean, I told my children just now, Papa is going to be doing this. Don't come into the room.
True, exactly.
Because, I mean, they were barging because this is the house, you see. I mean,
exactly.
So there are stresses. And one problem, I think, with technology is that it's always with you. Even before COVID-19, you have bosses WhatsApping you, emailing you, all these things while they're 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and sometimes can be helped, so I understand that. But if you make it like business as usual, no separation between the home and the work, and no separation between the weekday and the weekend. I mean, there is no weekend already.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what's the weekend for the past 6 weeks already, frankly speaking.
Yeah, so it's not right, lah. I think again, people are made to rest, and I think spend time with family. And I think also I don't like again, these are all social issues with technology. People don't know how to talk to each other, look to each other in the eye, and just have a conversation without just looking at the phone. All these things are happening, and I think we need to create a better awareness or education or learning, and starts at home, starts in schools. Technology is not going to be it's not going to be the savior of humanity, lah. There are some issues with it.
Savior of humanity. Yeah, exactly. That's a post-pandemic. After pandemic, now we are already facing that. Just imagine that after pandemic, then the bosses is so used to talk to you anytime.
Yes. I know. I think if not mistaken, last time France had a labor law. If you email,
you don't read the email. Exactly. When you're on leave, France have this law. When you're on leave, you do not need to read your email, and then even you are back, all your email you can just ignore because you're not obliged to do that. But I don't think so. They're going to impose this anymore. You're right. Exactly, because they are very particular about the working hour and the family time, all those kind of things. You're right.
Correct. But how do you apply it in the Asian context? I think it cannot. It's very difficult. But we try lah. I think happy workers are better workers lah. So
true. Exactly. Thanks for the sharing. I think there are few. No question. Just the IV law. I'm not sure whether you have friends that are saying that. They are bored at home. Yeah, definitely. That's why we have to find things to do. Correct. There are some comment here. People will go crazy. This IV law, exactly. That we have been talking about. Some people will go crazy because if they are too bored. I think some people actually have too much of works sometimes, isn't it? Yeah, and then you're not meeting people. Correct. You're not meeting your colleague face to face.
I think it is a test of character, again, I talk about technology, but it's a test of character. When you're given time, what do you do with that time? So do you spend that time reading a good book? A lot of times we talk about no time to read. Time to read. So and no time to spend with family. What's your excuse now?
Exactly. You're forced to with family.
So again, then some people are more productive. Again, we see some people learn to cook. Again, I think it's difficult to get out of bed, get out of the sofa, and so on. But I think if you can think of what's a hobby, just think of it as, wow, I'm given time to do things that how do I want to spend the time doing? So I'm telling some people that how will the pandemic be after this pandemic? How will you be? Would you be more wise? Would you be more active? Would you be more more invigorated? I mean, how would you be after the pandemic, or would you just become fat at home again?
That's why a lot of pictures been showing eating too much at home. True. I think fat instead of body. I think hopefully everybody will read more books. Like what? Do more. Yes,
Yes.
it's here exactly correct. No,
Yes,
there's so much
yes.
resources, much of information online that they actually can gain, isn't it?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Especially the young ones. The young ones, they're very easily distracted. So a lot of games, a lot of movies, a lot of stuff. And I'm really hoping that again, those post SPM and so on. But it's quite hard, lah. Reading culture is very poor in Malaysia. This is a pet comment of mine. I think more people should read, lah. So that is my critical thought about the young people. They don't read enough.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Hopefully, they can spend more time on reading other things. Yeah, there's so many material. They like the computer. I think in the iPad, there's so many material, online material they can read as well. They can learn, and there are so many apps that actually help them to learn whatever things that they want as well. Correct, Terence? With the
Correct.
today's,
If you want to learn guitar, cooking, I mean, you have the
Exactly.
best chefs teaching you how to cook. I mean,
True.
I bring my kids to. I'm hoping my kids will enjoy cooking, so I ask them to watch Gordon Ramsay cooks, and then so they watch. I can learn so many things, you know, from the best musicians, chefs, writers, directors, computer, everything you can learn. But what do? You watch cats, you watch funny whoever lah. I mean, I think fun is fun, but then. That's a question of how you use your time.
Yeah, true. That's good. Okay. I think it's almost 4 o'clock. Thanks for your sharing.